Alright, guys, Grim Deathmate here. Currently, I am in a battle lab, and the reason I've gone ahead and got a couple things. I got a single gun and some bot grenades, and a lot of my friends have asked me how exactly I am able to play on a phone. And if you notice, I got my screen kind of cluttered up a little bit with different buttons and things. You don't have to do that. That is entirely a personal preference, but I will show you how you can set it up the way you like to do it, the way that you play best. If these extra buttons are in your way, you can simply remove some of them or move them around to where you like them to be. And what you do in order to do that, you go into your HUD layout. All right, and the way you would do that, okay, currently I'm in a battle lab. You can also do this from the main menu. You hit the three little bars at the top right corner, and it brings up your menu. Okay, you go down to the little gear with the three bars on it. There is your regular menu that you would normally see, and again, it may not be in the same area, but what you're wanting to look for, depending on what mode you're in, no matter what mode you are in that menu there, it should say, when you're playing on your phone, it should say HUD Layout Tool. All right, and that's where we're going to go. We're going down to HUD Layout Tool. All right, now it brings this up. When you hit your HUD Layout Tool, that's what we're in currently. Okay, you see the little blue arrow in the center, and that tells you what HUD layout you've selected. All right, if you want to add a new HUD layout or create a new HUD layout, you go up to the HUD layouts up there at the top where the three little dots are and make one. This one is mine. It's the one I'm currently in and using. It's Grim Deathmate 1. All right, let's say I wanted to add a button to combat mode. All I have to do that is I select the button at the bottom list, which is down here. All right, part that's moving. You select whatever option it is you want to do, and you can drag and drop. Okay, so I'm going to hit this little blue arrow in the center to get rid of this black box with all these other options in it for now. Let's say I wanted to add a button somewhere. All I have to do is click the button I want to add, and this one is arrows. I drag it to wherever area is on my screen that I want it to have, I want it to be, and then it comes up with this option: add this element to all modes. If you don't want it in other modes, you go over to the edit links, little where it says edit links. There's a little triangle there. You hit that triangle, and you can select what mode you want that particular item in, and it will give you a list of the available modes that you can have that particular button in. Like, for example, this one is combat and building. All right, we don't want it in combat or building. We could simply check or uncheck whatever box it is by whichever one of the modes is that we don't want it in. All right, and let's say we're going to add it to combat and building. We're hitting confirm. Now that's right dead center. That particular item is in the center of the screen. If I don't want it in the center of the screen, I move it over to where I want it. I just simply drag it and move it. All right, let's say I don't want it at all though. I've selected one, and if you wonder what the button is, okay, if you look at the top where my little blue and white the arrow's at, if you look just to the left, Grim Deathmate 1 is what I have named this HUD layout. Right below that tells me what this particular button does. All right, this one's tether boost. If I select, for example, the one that looks like a target, it says ADS. That means aim down sights. All right. If I select the one that looks like a hammer with a wrench, that tells me that's build mode. All right. Once you are in here, you can literally drag and drop whatever element you want in whatever mode you want that it's available to be in, and put it where you want that to be. Now, if you want to get rid of it, again, we're going to select the one I just added because I don't want that there. All right. Now I want to get rid of it. I go to the little blue and white arrow and brings up my black square again. All right. Now what we're going to go over to is the box on the screen that says properties. All right. So we hit properties. All right. Properties is selected. Now if you look to the right side, there is a little trash can. The trash can is to delete the item. If you want to make the item bigger, you can do that here as well. You can also select how big of the button is that you want to touch. If you want it at 100%, it'll be as big as it can get. If you want it less than that, you can make it smaller. What you do want to make sure you do, though, is make it at a size that, one, isn't going to interfere with other buttons that it might cause a conflict with, and you want to add a size that is easy for you to touch when you need to touch that button, especially if you're in a combat mode. All right, we're getting rid of this particular item, so we're going to hit the trash can. We hit the trash can. It gives us a selection of where we want to delete the element from. If we only wanted to delete it from certain modes, we hit the little triangle and we check the box that we want it to delete from. If we want to delete it from all modes, we hit that little triangle and go back to here where it says delete this element from all modes, and we hit confirm. Now that element is gone. And if you look, see there, it was in the center of the screen, it is gone now. Now, as far as playing, you want to set your buttons into a position where it's easy for you to access but doesn't interfere with your regular motion on how you play. And what I mean by that, okay, see my jump button, which is this button. Where I normally place my thumb when I'm looking left or right is just below that in that empty space. All right, my crouch is just below that, and that's the button I use to crouch. So this empty space is the space where I move left and right, and that's in between the jump and the crouch. One of my fire buttons is just to the left of that. All right, that's where I have that set. And if you look at the top, it says tertiary ability. All right, well, if you look under that, that's my tertiary ability. Just under that is look, stick, shoot. All right, those are the buttons I have laid out there, and those can actually be in the same location. All right, they can be right over top of each other. And on the left hand side, this one here, it says that's your move stick. So my move stick is on the left hand side. That's going forward and backward, left and right. And that, if in the area that's in between my jump and crouch, that is just simply my turning area. So if I hit that area and go left, my character turns left. If I hit the area and go right, my character turns right. If I want to look up, I hit that area and I push up. If I want to go look down, I hit that area and I push down. The look stick, though, is walking left to the right and walking forward and backward. And I'll show you what I mean in there in game. All right, so we're going to exit here. And to exit out of here, you hit the little red door, well, red square with a white door on it next to the word combat, and it exits out. Now exit without saving. I didn't make any changes that I want to save, so I'm going to hit discard. If I made changes that I wanted to save, I just simply save it and hit save. But I'm going to discard. All right, now we're back in the game. All right, and like I was showing you earlier, this one on the left moves my character left, moves my character right. If I go up, it goes forward. If I go down, it goes backward. Now the area in between the jump button turns my character left, turns my character right, look up, look down, and that's the same area. Just like if you were using thumbstick controls on a controller. All right. If I want to jump, I hit the jump circle. That takes me out of crouch. I jump. If I want to go into crouch mode, I just hit the crouch button, which is just below the blank area where my movement's at. If I want to fire the weapon, I hit the little, looks like a bullet with flames coming off the side of it, and it's in the circle next to my up and down crouch button here. So anyway, if I want to fire, I hit that button. There is also one on the left hand side that I've put that does the same, pretty much the same thing, and it's slightly bigger. Alright, so if I'm running along and I want to fire at something, I put my crosshairs on there and I hit the fire button. Shot the garbage can. Now, one thing you do want to pay attention to is another option that is your fire mode select. I currently have mine on auto fire. You do not have to have that. You also have a motion sensitivity or a motion sensor. If you want that on, you could. I keep mine on only on my phone because I find it makes it a little bit easier when you're making micro adjustments to your movement and your aim. But I'll show you where that's at so you can change that as well. Alright, so you go into your settings, which is the three bars at the top right corner. You go into the settings menu, which is the one that has a gear with the three bars on it on the left hand side here. You go up to your settings where it says settings at the top. Alright, now we go to our touch settings. Alright, if we want to select a fire mode, right at the top, touch combat, you hit select fire mode. Mine is on auto fire. You can also have it to tap anywhere, and it gives a brief description on what each of those does. Auto fire, weapon fires automatically when you aim at an enemy. Tap anywhere, fire by tapping anywhere on the screen. Or you can select a dedicated button and use that to fire. Only fire your weapon when you tap the fire button. You have the three options when you're playing on your phone. Right now mine is on auto fire, and as you see, it is also recommended. So I'm selecting that one. And your touch settings, they're going to differ for what you like. These are my current touch settings. Touch sensitivity and all that. Aim assist, as you see, is on. Motion enabled. Okay, that is what I was talking about, where when I move my phone, it moves. The screen will move whenever I move the phone. If I move the phone down in my hand, or down and slightly forward, where the top of the phone leans away from me, then that's going to make my screen move in a certain direction. Now, if you don't like the way that it moves, the motion axis, you can change whatever your motion axis is, from yaw to roll or whatever. It just depends on which direction you want to change, and I won't go into the details on that, but you see what my settings are right there. Alright, I'll go on further and you can check that. As those are all my sensitivity settings and my motion settings that I use. If you like it different, change any of those that you need to change, but those are the main ones that I use. Okay, I'm not applying any of the changes, so I hit the X to unapply the changes. I don't want to save it because I already have this somewhat set up. Alright, and to show you how this works, I have an enemy bot grenade. Alright, we're going to show you what auto fire does. I'll throw an enemy bot grenade over, and then we're going to select our gun, and we're going to start shooting at this guy. See how when my targeting goes over top of the guy, it automatically fires? See, watch. Start shooting. I just killed the guy. Alright, here's another grenade. Alright, throw the grenade, select the gun, boom, he's dead. I'm going to throw the grenade, select the gun. Alright, reloading. And it fires as soon as it gets across him. And that's for long distance as well. So honestly, it gives you slightly, at least I think, almost an unfair advantage when you do use your phone. I mean, I've played on the Switch and a couple other things, but see, you lose some accuracy for long distance. But it does start firing as soon as your crosshairs goes across an enemy player. That's what the auto fire does. And if you want any of these settings on your phone, I mean, once you set any of that, then you can run around and play just like anybody else. If you want to build, alright, you're going to have to get materials first. But see, I've got my build settings there, right there, close to my thumb area where I normally have my thumb at. Alright, if I want to build a wall, I can build a wall. If I want to build a ramp, build a ramp. Everything's right there, close to my thumb access. Alright. But the area in between, I use to move. On the left hand side, if I want to go forward or backward, right and left, up, down, left, right, left. It's all basically where you would normally have a controller button, the way mine is set up. And again, since you probably will have hands that are smaller than mine, or hands that are even larger than mine, you're going to want to set your buttons so they're in close proximity of where you want that item to be. Because I don't want to be running along here and then hit the jump button and just keep hitting the screen, and I'm not jumping at all. I want to have that jump button where I would think, okay, I'm running along, I want to hit the jump button, I just hit the jump button. Boom, there it is, jump. Where I would normally think to touch, and the way I set mine up, a lot of times I even will close my eyes and see if I'm jumping or not. Wherever I comfortably hit the button is where I've got mine placed. Yours will probably be in a different area. And again, any of these items, buttons that you want to use, you can simply put wherever it is you like. Anyway, guys, hopefully this helps somebody in setting up, their phone to where they can actually play Fortnite on their phone. You don't have to get some 50 or 60 or more dollar controller to be able to play the game. You don't have to do that if you've already got an Android type phone. And I don't know if, I don't even know if you can play Fortnite on an Apple with all the lawsuits and stuff they had. I don't know. But you can set up an Android currently this way and play the game. So, really, all you need to have is a phone that is capable of running the game. If you have that, you can play the game. If you have that, you can download a free recording device and you can put a recording on YouTube, like I just did. You don't have to get a high dollar, expensive whatever to be able to record a video. You don't have to pay extra money to get a high dollar controller. You can actually just play on a compatible phone. Again, hopefully that you got something out of this, and hopefully it will help some of you out with your settings and being able to play just wherever you want to play. Everybody these days carries their phone with them, so there's really no reason you can't play it. Anyway, I'm going to back out of here, and hopefully this helps somebody. And you guys have a wonderful, wonderful Christmas. Or if you're not into Christmas, have a happy holiday. Um, Again, this is Grim Deathmate. We'll catch you in the game, hopefully. Y'all have a good one.